Alright, so quick deck profile for Lair branded. We have triple Arima, just because it's the one that searches your field spell, which is very important. You really need that to pop off. Helps out a lot. There's a couple cards that lets you bring out like the field spell as well, which is Metaverse. Once you have the field spell, you pretty much like control the whole board, and there's so much other plays that you can that I figured out that you can actually do as well. So yeah, definitely triple Arima because it's also a draw, and I like to draw. Uh, Triple Lilith, which is really good because it's a quick effect. So even if you bring it back with like back to the front or the branded trap card, summoning the kristya or other two monsters, you can still use its effect, and then it brings out all your trap cards right away too. So it makes the trap version so much faster. And then we have one Malice. There's new cards that came out, Loris and Alice. So far, this is the one that I like the most outside of Lilith, for the Lady of Lament. So this one's a quick effect as well. You tribute two monsters, which you tribute one of theirs, and then maybe Malice herself, or another one of your tokens, and then you set one of your banish trap card or the ones in the graveyard, which is there's a cool interaction with this and Lost Wind, because Lost Wind you can keep recycling it. You set it back to the from the graveyard, but you also banish it with Trap Trick, so you pretty much have like two Lost Wind in the cycle. But at the same time, Lost Wind has an effect where if you use its effect to reset, it gets banished. So Malice kind of fixes that, and then you just kind of have almost an unlimited use of Lost Wind. So pretty cool. Darkest Diabolos, which is like, I want to say the boss monster, but at the same time, like it's really rare that it comes up. Uh, he's good. He can be targeted. It can be tributed, so you can't even kaiju him. But at the same time, it's a 3,000 attack. It negs your opponent with the one card in their hand. There's a lot of he has a lot of really good effect, but for some reason the consistency of the deck is so strong that there's times where I don't even see him. Most of the time I don't even see him, and I still were able to like win the game. And then for the branded part, obviously triple Albas, you just kind of take control of the board. Uh, Opening up with this guy is not really even bad because you normal summon it, you discard a card, you fusion with their monster. So it's like almost slower version of like Super Poly. But also at the same time, it's important in the engine because of the branded fusion. Uh, Triple Luber, which is really amazing. It's really important to open up with this or Keeper the Dragon Magic, because of the new play where you get kristya. You do need another monster to banish. For example, if it's your first turn, you need another monster to banish besides Mirror Jade. So I can do like a quick first turn combos on like a different video, just to kind of show that. But yeah, Aluber is really good. I wish I picked up the branded opening, but they're still 15s, and me and my buddy are like trying to do like a budget builds because we don't really play as much, so it's not worth picking up like the branded opening for right now. Supports would be Keeper of the Dragon Magic, which is almost like a Luber. Your main focus is just to get to add branded fusion from your deck to hand, anyways. So this guy will add the branded fusion, and also it gives you the body. So you normal summon this, discard a card, activate branded fusion, do your whole combo, and you still have this as a body. And then you can also bring back Albas with like its second effect. Rarely comes up, but it's nice to know. And then for the two light that we dump using Albion would be Kristya and light Hex Seal Fusion. So this is really good. It gives you a lot of different kinds of play. You can bring out Kaliga, you can bring out Thousand Eyes Restrict, and then one of my favorite for this deck specifically is Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, because this substitute as the Blue Eyes, and then you have different dragons like the Keeper, the Albas. It's really good. The Tyrant brings like, the trap card back from the graveyard, and you can attack all your opponent's monster. So, And then for spells, we have the obviously the best one, the Lair of Darkness. Makes everything dark, super amazing. There was one interaction where I super polyed and then just try to. My objective was to get rid of the opponent's monster, and I summoned Swamp the fusion. Which one was it? Forgot his name. Mud Dragon of the Swamp. So yeah, but it actually helped out a lot. So Mud Dragon has like an effect where you can't target monsters that are the same attribute as him. But since Lair of Darkness makes him all dark, even his own monsters he cannot target it. So yeah, so important, Lair of Darkness. So we play one terraforming as well, just to make sure that we always have a copy of Lair of Darkness. And then since everything is dark, super strong card, super polymerization. Brings out the predator plant. You can fuse 3 of their monsters. Doesn't even matter what it is. If you have Lair of Darkness, you have the dark. So really good. You can bring out the swamp dragon. You can bring out Dragostapelia. There's different versions, and as much as I play this, there's so many things that I like change back and forth. There's so many tech cards that you can play. It's just up to you what your play style is. And then for the branded, obviously the branded fusion. That's it. If there's anything I can add in here, I don't necessarily like playing the branded in red. It's not like a full Despia or branded deck, so it only uses like the important engine, which is the branded fusion. If there's any other branded card I would add, would be just the branded opening, because it does give you that body. So if you open up with branded fusion, it just does changes up like that combo. But branded opening would give you the body of summoning a Louver. A Louver will add this, and then you go off from there. Double mass change, because everything is dark, and most of the time you get stuck with just normal summon a Louver, or normal summon the Keeper Magic, or even Albas. And then you also have the tokens, which you can use mass change to target the token. It's not a cost to send it to gravy, it's just a cost to target a level monster, and then you can summon Dark Claw, but just pretty much not even wasting a monster, because you just used one of the tokens as a fodder to make a Dark Claw. And really good too, because it's like a macro for one-ofs, Monster Reborn, and Call by the Grave, just strong one-ofs. And for the trap cards, so this lineup is what I'm currently playing. It is very flexible. You can always change it depending on what the meta is, or what your buddies are playing, whatever you want to use. It's always flexible. But for me, I felt like I've always wanted to play triple trap trick, because your most of your opening would be Lilith, and then Lilith can reveal 3 trap trick, and trap trick is basically any trap card in your deck. So I just like playing triple trap trick, and then from there on, everything else is kind of just, you can keep swapping it depending on what you're playing against, or what you wanna play. I used to play only 2 back to the front, but this version does dump a lot of the monster. So even dumping Kristya and Albas to the graveyard just to summon Albion, if your other trap card that helps you do the combo doesn't work out, you always have back to the front. You can summon Kristya, and Kristya is just bonkers. So yeah, triple back to the front. Now this one, it's so amazing. Deck Dev and Eradicator, just the virus cards. It's always been good in like Lair version, just because most of the time these cards, the way that makes them kind of iffy to play is that you have to tribute a monster that's 25 attack or 2000 attack. But with this deck, you just let your opponent pop off, and if you have like the Lair of Darkness, once they build up their board to a bigger monster, you tribute their own monster. So that's what makes this card so much better in this version, because you get rid of their big monster, and it's a cost to tribute it, so they can't even respond or anything, or try and negate if it's like a negate monster. and then you just destroy all their spell or trap, or all their little guys that builds up their engine. So really amazing. And then a couple of things that I was looking into: Ballista Squad, tribute one monster, target one card your opponent control, destroy it. Really simple, just how it says. But with Lair of Darkness, instead of you having the cost to tribute your own monster, again, you tribute theirs. So you get rid one card, and you can get this off of Lilith or Trap Trek. One card, it gets rid of two of their cards. And then I like the fact that it's very flexible, that it targets one card your opponent control. So you guarantee tribute one of their monster, get rid of the problem card, and then you can destroy anything else. It doesn't have to be another monster or so. Double loss win. Like I said, this is something that I have like a really good interaction with Malice, because Malice, if you tribute two monster, you can bring this back from the banish or the graveyard. So even if you activate its effect to reset, Malice can, and then once it leaves the field, it gets banished. Malice just kind of keeps like resetting it back to the cycle. It goes back to the field. You activate it again. It goes to the graveyard. Use its own effect to reset it again. It's almost like, as long as you have good control of like the field and the game, it will just keep coming back. And then for the branded support, we have the expulsion and the banishment. So basically, the combo is you have Mirror Jade, you send Albion, you set one of these, or if you open up with one already, you just set the other one. This is the play that brings out kristya. And then for the last one would be Metaverse, because there's times where they're gonna try and pop the Lair of Darkness, and you will just kind of lose from there once you lose the Lair of Darkness. So Metaverse helps out a lot to bring it back. And then again with Malice, you can bring this trap card back, just to make sure that you will always have a Lair of Darkness on the field, because it is pretty important. I even thought about playing Demise of the Land, but so far the deck is consistent enough that I always have Lair of Darkness, so it's something to consider. For the extra deck, we have the Beat Cop, just because its effect not only that it protects your Lair of Darkness if they try to destroy, like how somebody at Nationals try and protect their Mystic Mine. This has an effect to tribute a monster and put a counter on a card to protect it. So you don't, again, same thing, Lair of Darkness, it doesn't neg you. You tribute their monster to protect your own card. So it's our field. Decode Talker is amazing. This is something I've kind of played even way back, because you do keep tributing monster. With Decode Talker, if one of your cards get targeted, you tribute a monster. So you can tribute theirs and then negate the effect that targets any of your card. So it's really amazing. Plus, it is one of your push card. Like if you're not locked into fusion, you can kind of link. You can try and take control of their monster. I thought about playing Mind Control and Change of Heart here, but those cards doesn't really pop off anymore, because most of the time my opponent ends up having no monster whatsoever. So it just kind of ends up being like a dead card. But if you can link up to Decode Talker, this is just really good with the synergy of the deck. Now for the fusion part, we have the Mirror Jade, which is an important part of the combo. You fusion summon into Albion. We played double Albion just because you fusion summon into one, you activate its effect to send one, and then Albion's end phase effect will set the branded spell trap, which is most likely one of the other of the trap. Or if you already have those in hand, then you can just add branded fusion for next turn, and you just keep following up. So those guys, and then the Libellion, just because you have a lot of dark, you can branded fusion and dump Albas and the Diabolos. So it's just more just to kind of keep pushing. But yeah, it's also good, and it also recycles your materials, bringing back like the Albion, put it back to the extra deck, or the Mirror Jade. And then we have the Masquerade. It really just another option, just a flexible option, because it's does be a monster, a light or a dark. So you can summon into this, and then the burn, it does help, but I don't feel like it's something that I want to rely on just to win the game. But yeah, just a flexible spot. And then for the Hex Light, we have um, Millennium Ice Restrict and Kaliga. And then my favorite is Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. So these are your targets when you send the Hex Light. So with that, the Hex Light becomes a substitute. So you can summon either one of these guys. Again, it's a trap based. No, not necessarily, but there's a lot more traps in this build, more than the others, more than the other decks that I play. So when I was reading this, and I was kind of trying to figure out like the play, this helps out a lot. Outside of it being 3400 attack, and it can attack all monsters your opponent controls. So this is one of your push to not kind of prolong the game. You can kind of control the board, and after that, then you can just push for a game. This also, once it battles, it resets one of the trap cards from the graveyard. So not only that it's a huge push, it makes your control board a lot more consistent. Really, really good, and it's unaffected by trap cards too, so they can't even imperm it or anything. And then the one Dark Law, just for the mass change, because it does help when you open up with kind of like an iffy hand, as long as you have a level 5 or lower monster that you can mass change into. You just go into this. And then the instant view or the super poly target would be Mudragon, Garura, Starving Venom, and Trifon whatever. So yeah, these guys are the super poly target. So these two very versatile. This comes out a lot. The Starving Venom is kind of redundant, just because instead of going Starving Venom, you just wait until they have the third monster, and then you bring this out. So other things that I can switch this out to would be Dragus Tapelia, because it's pretty good, because it has that negate effect as well. Or since me and my buddy play a lot of Links, since I'm also playing Scareclaw, and one of the things that the Scareclaw is kind of not effective against would be link based decks. You can also play the World Chalice, where the materials for it would be link monsters. But yeah, but definitely these three are must play, and then this one would be a flexible spot for anything else. So yeah, that is the deck profile for Lair of Branded. Hope you guys like it. If you like, I can also post a quick combo in a test hand.